smile, uncontrollable laughing fits. Joker.
This is the Cuckoo Choo-Choo. Next stop, the end of Gotham as we know it. Alibi! Catch the Joker Express on the Batman. All new today at 11:30 on Kids WB.
Dear Mr. DC Entertainment, I hope you're doing well. Over the past 81 years, your flagship character, the great Bat Dude himself, has been interpreted in so many different ways. From the early 1960s TV show that all of our parents grew up with, to the breathtakingly amazing animated features, to the oh, damn Jesus Christ, a ball-busting Batfleck beefcake. Batman has been defined to general audiences by multiple portrayals. Everyone has their own version of the character that takes elements of what we love from the comics, movies, and shows. However, there's been one version of the character that you guys made that's been completely slept on. A diamond in the rough that you just keep- A diamond in the rough that everyone just might- A diamond in the rough that everyone- Fuck! A diamond in the rough that everyone keeps mining past! Oh god, Jesus. An iteration of the character that, with a mix of brilliant visual style, amazing characterization, and a shot of nostalgia, has become one of, if not my favorite adaptions of the Caped Crusader.
Bring on the Batman.
As you can deduce from the title of this letter, I really adore this show. Back when I was a youngling in 4th grade, my sister was a baby preschooler whose primary source of entertainment came from Barbie dolls, My Little Pony, and the one and only Mary Poser. God damn it, if I ever hear that butterfly human hybrid which sing that dumb shit about her helping her friends, I'm gonna fly swat that bitch! The only thing I ever had to give me any peace of mind during car rides and lazy weekends was this box. The Batman, the complete 3rd season, the DVD set. These 2 DVDs provided me with 286 minutes of entertainment that I actually really enjoyed. And as a kid who spent most of his time studying and doing like 30 extracurriculars, that was simply unheard of. Just look at that box, that super cool motorcycle, the hot neon green, that sexy lime and blue DVDs. Definitely smash. Over the past year, I've been meaning to revisit your show. Not to binge watch the entire series per se, but just more specific episodes and arcs that I vaguely remember. I was sort of afraid that a lot of my high expectations for it wouldn't hold up and I'd go and cry and run home to your other son, the Dark Knight trilogy. But I had to do this. I had a duty to do. 'Twas my dharma, so Bravo 6, going dark. Wish me luck. See you on the other side. God damn it, I still fucking love your show! The Batman 2004 isn't by any means the best show ever put to small screen. The primary goal of The Batman was to entertain kids, but that doesn't mean the show is bad at all. Compared to a lot of your other Batman content, this show is just a very unique piece of entertainment, even from the animation level. Just look at that simplistic design of the character. Look at the way the cape moves. Have you ever seen a cape move like that? Have you ever seen a Batman with goddamn claws? Have you ever seen a Batman be cloaked in a darkness like that? Have you ever seen a Batman look so suavely cool with black and blue hues like that?
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Before I go on about narrative things I like about your show, can I just take a moment to express how much I love the theme songs? I talk a lot on this channel, Mithy talked a lot on this channel about how he loves music in a show or a movie he enjoys, and this is no exception. The music in your show is so just unique. We've always thought of Batman themes having this orchestral or operatic feel, something dark and deep and Hans Zimmer, but a Batman theme with a gentle rock guitar and hypnotic background strumming, composed by the lead guitarist from U2, sign me the hell up. Hell, the season 1 and 2 intro was literally the first and only thing I learned to play on guitar. Your show provided such a unique visual and audible style for the character that works so well. Usually these kinds of these things break down characters, plot, setting, and other important storytelling values. But this isn't an analysis. This is a love letter to you, DC Entertainment. So instead, I'm just gonna cherish some of my favorite episodes of your show and tell you what I loved about them. But which episode should I start with? How about the first thing I ever watched from you guys?
It's official. I hate vegetables.
I'm just gonna say it up front so it's out in the open. I stan this version of Batgirl. Is she potentially my favorite female animated character? Probably. Did I have a crush on her as a kid? Yes. Am I a simp? Yeah. Mithy, we need to have a talk here. Batgirl is definitely my favorite character from your show. Maybe it's this infatuation I used to have, I don't know. But her story in this continuity is, again, very unique. Although a lot of her other stories are tied to her being in the shadow of Batman, she's still able to stand on her own as a powerful ally. Her banter with Robin during the later seasons is so natural and lovely to watch. Batgirl's introduction in your show seems to be when you guys found your footing. And I could go on and on about what Batgirl means to this show, but first let's look at her origins. She's a gymnastics kid who's inspired by Batman, and when she sees her friend going to the dark side, she uses that inspiration to take matters into her own hands and become a hero. In a show full of crazy plots and comic booky tales, this episode seemed the most human to me. Since the episode does such a good job of making me feel like I am Barbara Gordon, watching my friend turn to the dark side. Let's talk about our friend for a second, the other character in the cooker with a parallel arc, Poison Ivy. I'll be honest, DC, I've never had a positive relationship with your daughter Garden Gale, but I'll be honest, this episode really makes me feel for her character. She was a charming go-getter, someone who daringly fought for environmental rights in this urban jungle of concrete. But when she turns to the dark side, I feel for her, and I feel sad for Barbara. Babs hid secrets from her father and let Pam be as reckless as she wanted, and now she's stuck with this mess. Her dad's in danger and she's been kicked to the curb by Batman. But then that sense of responsibility overwhelms her. She takes action, solves the problem in her own unique way, and bam, the Batgirl is born. My god, it's such a beautiful episode. Your show may have instances of shallow characters or bland motivations, but this episode was simply just not one of those cases. So good on you guys for making me feel so strongly for a set of characters in a way I have never felt before. Let's shift focus to another episode you guys made. One that focuses on what I think standardly works the best on your show, the concept of family.
Out.
White Heat is one of those episodes I revisit whenever I think about your show. It's certainly one of the dark episodes, and hot damn, it's honestly a bit of fresh air. During the episode, Firefly and his girlfriend Blaze steal a radioactive isotope, but it reacts with the jetpack and turns Firefly into this heat monster named Phosphorus! I failed science. After being obsessed with this newfound power, hijinks ensue and the episode becomes this highly intense chase to stop Firefly before he destroys Gotham. Hey, why am I describing this to you, DC? You guys made the darn episode. It's almost as if I just said that to educate some fourth wall audience that's also reading this really private letter. Describing this episode of yours, I can't stress the word intense enough. And also stress, that's also a really good word to use to describe the episode. The Foley work does a great job of expressing the power in Phosphorus's heat, showcasing that if any of our beloved heroes get hurt, they're probably done for. Plus, Batman constantly spends the episode yelling at Babs and Dick to get out of the way and run to safety as opposed to being the silent dad he usually is, doing things like expressing his concerns after seeing the equations on the chalkboard or trying to take on Firefly himself. But I'll get to the Bat family dynamic later. First off, Blaze is an absolutely fantabulous character. No, she doesn't really have any depth, but I don't think she really needs to, since she's primarily used in this show to show us what Firefly's turned into. From the beginning of the episode, the heist is pretty engaging and it allows us to understand that these two are happy with each other. As the episode progresses, it naturally showcases the degradation of that relationship and how Firefly's Icarus-like push to fly closer and closer to the sun makes it seem like he has no regard for his girlfriend. I don't blame Blaze at the end of this episode for leaving him. I honestly feel a bit sorry for her. Not only since she's going to jail, but this short incident has forever broken her relationship with this man she once loved. And that's also sort of emblematic of Batman and his kids throughout the episode. Like many iterations of Batman, he could abandon his partners and return to a life against crime alone. Maybe it's what he should do, but would he be better off for it? Batgirl's the one who found Blaze. Robin's the one that saved him from Tony Zuko. And most importantly, Dick, Alfred and Barbara seem to be the only family he has left, now or in the future. The message of the episode, to me at least, is that family is the most important thing some of us are grateful enough to have. And we should never ever let ourselves burn that up. Alright, enough sappy crap. Time to talk about my favorite episode of all time. An episode that tackles what it means to be a symbol to the city, what it means to be a hero, what it means to be Batman.
Combat log. Final entry.
I love this episode with all my heart. I watched it at least a dozen times and at least 3 times while writing this letter. And if I may break the fourth wall for a second, guys, please go watch this episode. I am begging you. I'm gonna end up spoiling it, so if you have to, just close the video and watch it, and you don't even need to come back. Just please watch this episode. Please. A Strange New World showcases Batman and Robin meeting with Hugo Strange, who reveals he's spread a zombie virus across the city and he destroys the only antidote in front of their faces. Huh. Wonder why that seems so familiar. Batman and Robin fight their best to find a cure or gain more resources, but after Robin's infected, Alfred's locked up, and the zombie GCP'd are after him, Batman's on his own. Determined to save the city once and for all, he spends countless hours multiplying the antidote given to him by Strange and placing gas bombs across the zombified city. As he goes to trigger the bombs, he takes a second and comes to the big revelation. What if he's not spreading the antidote, but the toxin? What? He trusts his new intuition and gives into his zombie allies, revealing that he was the zombie the entire time and Hugo had sprayed the toxin in their faces when they first met. The Dark Knight proved himself to be the greatest detective of all time and saved the city from Hugo Strange's mind tricks. Now, I just completely butchered that entire plot, and really the only best way to truly appreciate it is to watch the episode, but still, holy rusted metal, isn't that just the best thing of all time? Other than childbirth. Most episodes are relatively straightforward, so this twist ending is rather unusual. However, the ending doesn't just come out of nowhere, it's well defended in a Knives Out style. Strange's history with mind tricks, the lack of toxins in the air, Alfred's infection, the zombie dialogue. More importantly, this episode does a great job of displaying how strong of a character Bruce Wayne is. Leave aside the twist stuff for a second, this man has just seen a citywide plague spring into full action and he could do nothing to stop it. His father figure of sorts has been infected and seems to be in critical condition. Eventually, all his allies fall and any chance of saving the city is up to him. How doesn't he crack during any of this? If I leave my food in the microwave for a second longer, I break into a tantrum! Heck, even Robin seems to have a bit of a mental breakdown. But Batman stays strong. It's a bit of a tangent, but there are 5 essential tenets attributed to the martial arts style of Taekwondo: courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and most importantly, indomitable spirit. To me, your Batman is the personification of that last one. Through dark times and harsh realities, your Batman represents the fighting man that will never give up and stay strong, doing everything he can to save what he loves. Your Batman is that indomitable spirit, and that's a principle I strive to keep every day. So yeah, these are some of my favorite episodes in the series. And I didn't even get the chance to talk about some of the other episodes I cherish, like Seconds, Artifacts, Riddler's Revenge, The Everywhere Man, Thunder, A Dark Knight to Remember, and so many other gems in this treasure chest of Okay, sorry DC, let me finally wrap this thing up. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the term nostalgia is defined as a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period and I don't care anymore. I don't like using the term nostalgia. Yes, I know what it means, and yes, I know it can sometimes be harmful when trying to analyze a piece of art on its own, but film Twitter, at least from what I've seen, has completely weaponized the term. When anyone says they enjoy a work from the past, like Batman Returns, the Star Wars flicks, or the Raimi movies, some guy comes at him with a level 400 attack by playing the "You use nostalgia, that's illegal" card, and that person's entire opinion is now completely invalid. And to that guy, guess what? Fuck empathy first. Why is nostalgia such a bad thing to you people? If anything, it should add to the experience of understanding someone's love for a piece of art. But rather it becomes G-fuel for a bunch of people to completely trash that person's insides. Sometimes the best reviews are tied to the reviewer having a very personal attachment to the art. But instead, whenever some guy says they like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and a martyr of troops dock at the harbour and bomb it to smithereens. Honestly, I bet people are gonna look back on things like the MCU or Stranger Things or even the Dark Knight trilogy in like 30 years and they're gonna say that boomers like us only loved it because we grew up with it. And they may not even be wrong. But by all means, it definitely doesn't mean our love for these franchises are a bad thing. I already know people are gonna say that I love this show because of nostalgia, and you know what? They're right, and that's not a bad thing, DC. Because I don't care if your show sometimes has underdeveloped villains. I don't care if your show's non-continuous storytelling doesn't always support a season-long contained arc. I don't even care if it didn't live up to the critical standards set by Batman the Animated Series. I love this show because during a time when I had 15 after-school activities, a bunch of standardized tests to prepare for, barely any friends, and goddamn Mary Poser blaring in the background, I had your show. I loved this show so much that when I was 12, I spent 4 hours awake in the middle of the night, secretly on my iPad binging episodes instead of studying for the most important math counts competition of my life. I loved this show so much that when I met Scribe, one of my closest friends today in my dorm hall, the first thing I showed him was A Strange New World. I love this show so much, it's my favorite interpretation of the Batman mythos, and I love this show so much I'm writing a love letter to you, DC. As I try to do with most of my essays, I want to take a moment to thank the people behind the screens who worked on the show. Creators Michael Goguen and Dwayne Capizzi. Producers Sandra Schwartz, Alan Burnett, Glenn Murakami, Jeff Masuda. Composer David Evans. Voice actors Reno Romano and Danielle Judowitz. Writers like Greg Wiseman, animators like Brandon Vietti, and everyone who worked on the show that I was stupid enough to forget. You guys defined my childhood, and if any of you are reading / listening to this, I am eternally grateful. Best regards, sincerely, yours truly.